The To Be Determined Show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde, Braddock, and the Magic City Runner, Fast Eddie Layne, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
The views and opinions expressed by the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, are of my own and no one else, nor do they reflect Beyond Ringside. So, ladies and gentlemen, due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the To Be Determined Show. We are live Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com. Thank you to everyone listening to us on all the apps, Android, mobile devices, and of course the Google Play Store. Check out the Beyond Ringside Radio app right there. Coming soon, not officially when, but coming soon to Apple.
I'm praying.
Now we are bringing someone on who has been on every major show, I think, on Beyond Ringside Radio Network. A man that really needs no introduction, but sometimes you have to give introductions where they're due.
Mainly because the phone just went out.
Yep. GCW knows this man very well.
There he is.
He is the King of Florida via Brooklyn. He is also, I would dare say, the leader of the Circle of Disrespect. Definitely the man in charge of Show in a Box. And King of the Fanny Packs, I guess we should call him the Godfather of the Fanny Packs and Zubas, Francisco Ciatso. Ciatso, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing really good if Verizon can get off their goddamn ass and keep my phone service on. I've got phone drop friggin' 4 places. What's that, more bars and more places? Or is that AT&T? I can't remember which the hell it is. But I'm sitting here talking to you guys before we got on air. Didn't drop one call. As soon as you guys get ready to go live, it dropped the call. Verizon can lick my balls.
There you go, Verizon. Lick Francisco's balls.
And actually, it's Budweiser that has more bars and more places.
How are you guys doing tonight, man? Thank you for having me on.
We're doing fantastic. We're jumping straight in. We know that your time is very precious, so we're jumping straight into this. You have, over the last 2 years specifically, become very well known in the Southeast. But we have to trace it back all the way to the beginning. How did you get into professional wrestling from the get-go, sir? How did this illustrious career begin?
Well, it's crazy. I guess I'm going to show my age a little bit, but I was pretty young, man, and I was in the martial arts. I did martial arts when I was about maybe 17 or 18 years old. But when I was a little kid, I went to the video store of all places to get a VHS tape. Show my age a little bit here. I love Bruce Lee. I'm still a Bruce Lee mark to this day, but I went to go right to Enter the Dragon because it was my favorite Bruce Lee movie. If it's a little loud, I apologize. I'm sitting at a restaurant right now. Just got done with some Simon Time trivia at Smoky Bones in Orlando. So I have to apologize. But I went to go get a VHS tape and watch Enter the Dragon, and it was out. But right next to it, man, it was WrestleMania 3. It had Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant on the cover, so I figured, well, hell, So, hey, Simon Says is waving at everybody. Wave from Radio Land, everybody. Hello.
Hi, Simon.
Oh, hey.
Get a haircut, you hippie.
Actually, he said everybody except for Eddie. He likes everybody except for Eddie.
Inhale.
But so I rented WrestleMania 3 and took it home and popped it in the VCR. And from the opening match, I fell in love. I absolutely fell in love with professional wrestling at that point on. Saw my first live wrestling match at the Eddie Graham Sports Stadium when I was about maybe 10 or 11 years old, if I'm not mistaken. I saw Lex Luger and Wahoo McDaniel headline for the Southern title. And I was just enamored. I was enamored with their psychology and how they were able to captivate a crowd. And I knew from that young age what I wanted to do with my life from that point forward. Fast forward to when I was in high school. And I didn't know the difference between independent wrestling and WWE, WCW. I didn't know the difference. I just knew professional wrestling. The group came to my high school with a crook, which I would later find out was a crook by the name of Jerry Gray, and got in touch with him. And when I graduated high school, started college, went to college for a couple of years, and then started wrestling school with him in Orlando, Florida. Got taken for a ride, brought him $1,000 cash. Got my money stolen. He skipped town. So I was flipping through Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and I'll never forget the ad. It said, "Want to be a pro wrestler," with big dollar signs and whole 9 yards. And it was Exotic Adrian Street, the legendary Exotic Adrian Street, Miss Linda, running Skull Crushers Wrestling School in Pensacola, Florida. I gave him a call. He told me not to pay him a dime, just come up, check out the school. And I did that. And from that point forward, I knew that was a place I was going to be and where I was going to hone my craft and learn from one of the best and one of the legends of professional wrestling. And I did so. And I trained with him for about 6 or 8 months. I lived in his apartment complex. He took very good care of me, both him and Miss Linda. And taught me from the second I walked through the door how to be a pro and how to conduct myself both in and out of the ring. And when I left there, I was definitely ready to embark on a professional wrestling career. But it wasn't easy. I mean, that was back before social media. Again, showing my age a little bit. There was no Facebook. There was no MySpace. There was no Twitter. There was no Google Chrome. There was none of that. It was just a pamphlet full of a bunch of phone numbers and addresses that were no longer good. It was at that time that I got in touch with Ron Neame through a couple contacts down here, Jack Lord in Alabama, and between the two of them, they managed to give me my start. Ron Neame got me my major start down here with IPW. Jack Lord gave me my first shot on the road, which got me in touch with Burt Prentice and Music City Pro Wrestling, and so on. So that was that's kind of a brief rundown on where I came from and how I got started.
Your first day of training, what was it like? We ask everyone that same question because it seems to differ so much for so many of us.
Oh man, I mean, it was. I remember showing up to Adrian's school that first day and knocked on the door, and he entered the door, and I was used to seeing Adrian in magazines and on TV, pigtails and feather boas, and he answered the door, and I was used to seeing these larger than life characters. Adrian's not a big guy. I mean, neither am I, but he's smaller than I am. He's maybe about 5'5", and I asked for Adrian, and he laughed, shut the door, came back, and put his hair up in pigtails, put some eyeshadow on.
Awesome.
And a hot pink feather bow around his neck. And he had a good chuckle out of that. And the first day was hell, man. It was Hindu squats and calisthenics and running. And I mean, I didn't get in the ring and really start to become a professional wrestler for at least maybe about a month and a half, 2 months. I mean, it was nothing but working out, training, running, some shoot wrestling, in and outs, and learning the basics before I even hit the ropes. So it was Adrian was a hooker, man. He was definitely a hooker, and he knew more holes than I've ever seen in my entire life. To this day, the guy had a reversal and a hold for it, and it puts you in any position you could ever possibly dream of. But it was definitely rough. Not so rough to where he killed you, because he wanted you to do well. Like I said, I lived there for about 6 months, so my body became accustomed to it after about maybe 2 or 3 months. But he definitely wasn't easy on me. I was kind of a thicker guy, even though I was a shorter stature. But he definitely ran me to death, and which is what a lot of guys are lacking these days, which is the toughness and thick skin. And everybody wants to complain nowadays about tough training and want to write letters and be pussies. Last time I checked, you find, and I know I'm getting kind of ahead of myself, because I wanted to touch on this later in the call. But you find me a professional football coach that doesn't yell at their team, basketball coach doesn't yell at their team. To be a professional athlete, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's baseball, professional wrestling, whatever the case may be, you've got to have a toughness to be in this business. You don't write letters to human resources because your training's a little tough. But we'll touch on that a little later, because I know I was told by Wicked that I'm actually able to kind of speak my mind a little bit, and I'll touch on that a little later.
Well, then we will wait to ask this question. The circle of disrespect in yourself, how did you guys come about? Because you guys are very well known to be on the road all the time, and you never know where you guys are going to show up.
Yeah.
How did you guys come together?
It was by accident, actually. We were working for a group called USA Pro, and it was in Orlando, Florida. And my tag partner had taken off, left me kind of hanging, and we were supposed to wrestle the Latin. I can never remember. What were Mike Cruz and his horrible partner's tag team name? What were the Latin Assassins. I was supposed to work the Latin Assassins that night, and Simon says it already worked. He'd already done. He was half undressed, and I found out that my tag team partner had skipped town and was gone. Just walked out of the dressing room and left. I had no tag partner, so I was gonna end up being lose the match by default or whatever the case may be. And he, I'll do it. I'll step up. I'll do it. He had his half boots untucked. One boot was non-tied. One wasn't tied. And he just literally told the promoter, he goes, "Don't worry about anything else." He goes, "I got it." And he went out that night and he did it. And he broke his ankle that night. Our very first tag match ever. He took a move from did a move with Mike Cruz, and I can't remember exactly what the move I did. It was like a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker or something along those lines. And Simon says ended up coming down on his ankle and broke his ankle in 2 places. And I never seen anything like it. It sounded like a gunshot went off. And we ended up finishing the match and come to the back. And we spent the night in the hospital that night. We had the after party there. Had some sushi and soup. And from that point forward, we kind of just gelled together. We were part of a group at the time at USA Pro called the Circle of Disrespect. It was myself, Simon Says, Steve Carino, and Shooter Storm, God rest his soul. He's not really dead, but I like to say God rest his soul. We can all hope and dream. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, he stepped up, didn't really know me very well, and stepped into a pretty heavy match, there at USA Pro, and then we just kind of took off from there. Started in Jacksonville, did some stuff down in Miami, and we just kind of took off. We just gelled really, really well, both in and out of the ring, and we became the best of friends. And we take care of each other in and out of the ring. We're family. We're closer than any two blood brothers you'll ever see. So, and that kind of transcends into what we do in the ring. And it's obvious that the fans see the kind of fun that we have and see what we do both in and out of the ring. So it's no secret. There's no secret to our success. We're close both in and out of the ring. And I like to slap Simon around. He's like, he's a battered woman. I just hit him again.
How did the show in the box gimmick come about?
By accident. You're going to see a trend here. Yeah, it was myself, Simon, and Mike Cruz, Corey Chavis, and we were traveling up the Rampage Road in Warner Robins, Georgia. And funny enough, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Corey Chavis that came up with the name. We pulled in, and we were back in. Rampage only had maybe about 7 matches on the card, 6 matches, whatever. And I think out of the guys in that car, I think we were about 2/3 of the show. And it was kind of funny. Corey pulled up, and we saw all the guys that were on the show. And he goes, "Man, it's like show in a box. You show up, and the whole show is in your car." And boom, just took off from there. So we started off as a joke and an accident, and just kind of morphed into what it is now. I mean, I don't want to call myself an agent, but I work with Simon. I handle all the bookings, the travel, and Simon handles all of our promotions, our graphics. And I kind of agent for myself, Simon, Mike Cruz, Corey Chavis, Milo Beasley, All Pro Leo Gold, Joe. I call him Joe Rockhead, but Dan Creedbaum is one of the referees down here in Florida. Occasionally we'll throw one guy in there here or there, but for the most part, that's our team. We survive together, we travel together, we all take care of each other. We very reasonable pricing. I'm going to show all of our stuff. You can reach us at Emerald Emperor, on Facebook and Twitter. At Francisco Ciatso, Facebook and Twitter. At Cruz Get Big, Facebook and Instagram. Was I saying Facebook and Twitter with the apps? I'm sorry, man. I'm running 1,000 miles an hour. I'm running on 2 hours of sleep last night. So you have to apologize there.
Oh, it's quite all right. I'm sure that most people will go back and listen to this either stoned or drunk, if not both. So they'll be like, I got that. Baby, write that down. Write that down, baby. Baby. Get the pen beside the shotgun. Write that down. You guys made quite the impact at GCW right off the bat. You guys also made quite the impact at Southern Fried Championship Wrestling right off the bat. But this Friday, MCW, their Super Showcase Wrestling with Pop Culture, has several matches together. You're a part of this. Have you been a part of any of the wrestling with Pop Culture events thus far?
No, I haven't. This is the first time that, certainly with Disrespect or Show in the Box has been a part of this. We're actually very excited about it. It's kind of making history for us, being on this show. We're excited to head downtown Atlanta to Legendary Masquerade with AWE. AWE is coming along great. Josh Wheeler is doing a great job with promotions and really getting AWE on the map in Georgia. So myself, Simon Says, Mike Cruz and Milo Beasley are going to be hitting the road at 6 a.m. on Friday morning. And then, of course, we got Vintage Professional Wrestling on Saturday in Orlando, Florida, and then Sunday we head to Plant City for NWA Florida Underground. So we've got a busy weekend. Hashtag the road. Hashtag showing a box. Hashtag barbells and bar tabs tour 2015. So we're rocking and rolling, starting strolling.
I was waiting on that one.
So you guys are going from Orlando to Atlanta, Atlanta back to Orlando,
and then to Plant City on Sunday. So it's.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I was lucky enough when I first got into the business with my brother to be able to go on the road, but we were still quote unquote paying dues, so we got paid shit. But do you think that that's one of the things that's wrong with guys and with wrestling this days, independent promotions, is they like to stay within their comfort zone where they don't really have to go and sleep in a car or sleep 5 or 6 to a hotel room or crash at somebody's house. Do you think that's what's missing today in wrestling, or do you think it's something else that kind of separates what's going on today from, let's say, to make you feel real old yesteryear? I expect Joe Cocker to start singing the Wonder Years theme any minute now.
Well, to be honest with you, there's a lot of things that separate things out. But one of the main things is what you just said. I mean, when I first started wrestling, guys, I was traveling by myself. I had a little light Nissan pickup truck, and I would travel up the Cheatham Mountain in Alabama through the snow and the sleet, and straight to Music City Wrestling for Burt Prentice back in the day, and at the National Fairgrounds Arena. And I remember sleeping in my truck and not having a dime to my name. I was getting paid, I think it was $25 or something. Drive to Nashville, Tennessee from Orlando. I was working for UPS at the time. I'd throw my bag in the back of the truck. I'd get done at UPS around 9, 10 o'clock at night, throw my bag in the back of the truck, and hit the road straight to Nashville. There was no cell phones. I had a beeper. And that beeper stopped working when I hit the border of Florida and Georgia. So I had a calling card. I wasn't dating anybody. I was just living at home with my mom, trying to make ends meet, and, trying to become a wrestling superstar. And, that was pretty much it. I had a map. And there's a country song, and I can't remember what the name of it is, but it says one of the lines is I had a Red Bull and a road map in an old film's cassette. And, of course, there was no Red Bull back then, so it was Diet Mountain Dew. And I would hit the road with just Sharpie and a map, and I'd go up through the mountains and work for Jack Lord, work for Burt Prentice, and I had a Bowie knife. I'm even saying that, right? A Bowie knife or Bowie knife, whatever, a Rambo knife was, and I would sleep with it under my pillow in the truck, in the little cab of my truck. And I couldn't afford to keep the truck running because I didn't want to waste gas. So I would just crack the window open on a big-ass comforter, and I would just wait for the National Fairgrounds Arena to open up, and I would go in and take a little bath in the sink and eat whatever horrible food they would give me for free, and I would wrestle, and I would get back in my truck that night and drive as far as I could, find a rest stop or a nice hotel, like a Marriott or a Radisson or something like that, and I'd sleep in the parking lot, same thing, under the comforter, until security would knock on the window, and I'd move on to the next rest stop or the next place. And I did that for a long time, and just cutting my teeth. And I think a lot of guys are so spoiled nowadays with social media and not having to leave their comfort zone, like you said, and they don't leave their backyard. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you ain't a professional wrestler if you're not leaving the state that you're in. You can't call yourself a pro, And I'm not saying that guys have to do what we do or have to do what I do, but if you really want to become a professional wrestler, Q-Ball Carmichael said the best. He goes, how can I consider you, a seasoned professional wrestler if you never left your backyard? And we travel every weekend, whether it's all over Florida, whether it's Atlanta, all over Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama. We're going to be going into Tennessee in 2015 and going into next year. So we're doing everything we can to get our name out there, and that's what it takes. If you're not willing to leave your backyard, you ain't a pro. You're just a weekend warrior.
I have to ask, the fanny packs and Zubas, how did this come about? Because that seems to be a signature of yours.
I'm a mark for the 80s, guys. Every wrestler in the 80s and 90s wore Zubas and had fanny packs. And I remember as a kid seeing every WWF superstar, WWE superstar, would come out and they would have Zubas on, and track pants or whatever with a fanny pack. And from that day on, I vowed always to wear a fanny pack. And I don't care how many years go by, how much I get ribbed. I will wear Zubaz, I will wear my fanny pack, and if you don't like it, just suck my nuts in Macy's window. Because you know what? I don't lose anything. The one time I decided not to take my fanny pack with me, I left my wallet at a gas station, got halfway up the highway, and ended up spinning around in the median somewhere in Middle Georgia at about 90 miles an hour. Corey Chavis turned white as I hit that median going 80 miles an hour because my wallet was left there. That's because I didn't take my fanny pack on the road. So anybody who doesn't like fanny packs, suck it. Hashtag fanny pack.
So what were your thoughts on the movie The Wrestler, since you're such a child of the 80s?
Wow. I think it was probably about as accurate depiction as possible of what does and can happen. I think Mickey Rourke did an incredible job in that movie. He lived and breathed professional wrestling during his training. I mean, he trained to be a pro wrestler for months. I know a lot of guys that actually into his training. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Alpha to the Wild Samoans and that whole group. And some of the guys that I know from Deep South, one of the guys was Danny Jamondo. He was on that in that movie, had a cameo, and he had a hand in his training, if I'm not mistaken. So it was, I think overall, I think if I had to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I'd say I would probably give it an 8.5 or 9. I mean, it was pretty dead on. I wasn't a huge fan of some of the things being exposed in that movie, but it is what it is. We can sit here and argue back and forth about parts of the business that have been exposed over the years and for what reasons and so on. It really just depends on what your flavor of ice cream is. I still believe in keeping some things a secret. I don't believe that kayfabe is dead. I believe kayfabe only is dead as you want it to be.
Thank you.
Perfect example, GCW and Southern Fried Championship Wrestling and Vintage Wrestling are three of the promotions that come to mind when I think of kayfabe not being dead. I got legit death threats from Southern Fried Championship Wrestling fans. I was told by GCW fans after I beat Michael Taylor for the GCW title just to go ahead and nail the title back that I'm no longer welcome in Tell City, Alabama. So, these are people that still believe, and I love to hear it. I love to see it. When I toured Puerto Rico, those people believe. When I toured England, those people believe. When I toured China, they believe. There's a quote that Johnny Valentine used to say, and I've always kept it near and dear to my heart. I can't make you believe what I do is real, but I can make you believe I am. And that's something that me and Simon, week after week, month after month, day after day, we live it. And we believe it. And, we catch a lot of shit for it, But at the end of the day, we live and breathe this business. And that's why we're as popular as we are. That's why the people are behind us the way they are. And that's not being conceited. That's just telling you the truth the way it is. We're two of the best in what we do. We're one of the best tag teams. Forget about Southeast. One of the best tag teams in the country. And we are because we live and breathe the business. And I think that's another thing that's missing. These guys don't live and breathe the business. There's a lot of guys getting hired to go out to entertainment right now that don't live and breathe the business. They're football players, basketball players, whatever. They didn't come up through the Indies. That's why I'm so glad to see guys like Stu and Jericho and even here. I know Hero got released, but he's Hero. You see these guys that came up through the Indies and busted their ass and didn't make shit. And they're now going to be making money. And even Punk, I knew Punk years ago, and we're on meeting, bringing him down with IPW wrestling, and to see guys getting legit shots with the main company after spending their time on the Indies and busting their ass. And I mean, hell, Dana Bryan, for God's sake, how can I leave him out? It's insane to see, guys getting shots like this because years ago that wouldn't have happened. So the Indies are mattering again. Independent professional wrestling is mattering again, whether it's, what you would consider the top indie promotions in the country, whether we can sit here and argue back and forth. But promotions like, Ring of Honor, Dragon, so on and so forth, are getting guys, recognized. Promotions down here in Florida, like Vintage, they're doing it right. Groups like NWA Florida Underground and GCW and AWE and Southern Fried, all these groups that are making independent wrestling matter again. Omega Pro in North Carolina. I mean, they're drawing thousands upon thousands, and the promotions I just listed prior to Omega are drawing anywhere between 350 to 500 people per show. That's on average. That means the independent professional wrestling world is mattering again, and the promoters are believing, the fans are believing, and the wrestlers are busting their ass to make things happen.
Before we get really serious, two questions I have to ask. Number one, favorite movie of all time?
Goodfellas.
Second, of course, it's going to be Goodfellas, of course. Number two, why do you hate Captain America so much?
Oh my God! Because he's not a superhero, guys. There's nothing super about Captain America. He's an army guy. He's like a jacked up GI Joe action figure with a friggin' a shield. I mean, there's nothing super about Captain America. He's a jerk. Captain America's shit. Batman would kick him right in his nuts. And you can tell Murder One I said to lick my nuts. Batman would kick the crap out of Captain America.
Oh, that's my man. Captain America's my man as well. See, my brother Murder One, my kids actually call Murder One Uncle Murder, believe it or not. Captain America's the man. He's loyal. I mean, he's about standing up for yourself. He's truth. And for loyalty, period, you of all people should definitely take that over a man that has a contingency plan for everybody.
I can't stand Captain America.
Wait.
I used to hate his toy, too.
Hey, Wick, hold up. Really, Frankie, if Captain America were Italian, would it make a difference?
Wow, Eddie, you really pigeonholed me, didn't you? You know what? I wouldn't like him. Even if he was Italian, I wouldn't even like him.
That was racist.
No, it's because I was figuring he didn't like Cap because he was blonde.
Did you say black?
Blonde.
Oh, blonde. I said black. I said, oh, here we go.
Oh,
here we go.
No. Oh, by the way, while I've got a second, do me a favor. Congratulate Says. I heard he had a great match against Mia Yim the other night at Shine. Okay.
You want me to congratulate him about what?
Never mind. Keep going.
Anyways, the Bill DeMont situation, I know you have something to say about that. How do you feel about that, Francisco?
I read that manifesto that guy wrote or whatever types or whatever the case may be. I trained under Bill DeMont for 2 years, and it was probably the toughest training I've ever had in my life. It was, quadruple, what Adrian Street put me through. There's a reason for that. You've got to be mentally and physically tough to make it in this business. To be on the road 300 days a year, to be away from your family, to be away from your friends, to be away from everything you know and love, you've got to be mentally tough. The one thing I equate it to is a drill sergeant. Okay, you don't want some mentally or physically weak individual holding an M16 assault rifle protecting your swords, do you? Same goes for professional wrestling. You don't want to go to an arena and see some weak individual getting in the ring. You either spend $50 to get a front row seat to see. No, you want to see guys that are in shape and larger than life and have charisma and train the right way and are tough. And that's what this business was built on. Back in the day, when you got guys like Dusty Rhodes and Dick Murdoch and Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen, these guys were tough. They were double tough individuals. They took no nonsense guys. And for whatever reason, somewhere along the line, this business has lost that. When I was at Deep South, and it was Deep South and OVW, those guys were tough. They were busting their ass, and they were busting their ass together. Micah Taylor was there. Micah Taylor was under contract, and he was there when I was there. And those guys were where I wanted to be. I wanted to get that contract. I wanted to be fine. And I busted my ass day in and day out, week in and week out, for 2 years straight to be part of the WWE. And whether it panned out or not is irrelevant. It didn't pan out. I didn't get signed. Deep South closed down. I came really, really close. I know I get ribbed about her leprosy, and some people say it was a waste of 2 years. It was far from a waste. I learned a lot. I trained under everybody from Dave Taylor to Tom Pritchard to Bill DeMott to Ricky Steamboat and all up and down the line. But I will stick up, even though I don't talk to Bill anymore and we don't have a lot of contact, I will stick up for Bill's training and what he put me through until the cows come home. Did I get yelled at? Absolutely. I got screamed at daily, hourly, by the minute. I get screamed at. When you get messed up, you had to do drilling. We had to run 2 miles, push-ups, sit-ups, Hindu squats, drill after drill after drill after drill. But it made you tough, and it made you respect the business, and that's what this business is lacking. The one thing that I could say above anything else in this business is respect, and that's what they're trying to teach these guys. These guys come in there, and 9 times out of 10, the guys that haven't come up through the Indies, they haven't slept in their car with a Bowie knife under their shoulder. And I will say this, and I'll go on record, and I don't give a damn who I get heat from, but at the end of the day, if you don't want your spot, I'll fucking take it. If you don't want your spot, Simon Says will take your fucking spot. Bruce Nancy will take your fucking spot. Corey Chase will take your fucking spot. If you don't want your goddamn spot, get the fuck out of the goddamn performance center and go the fuck home. Go to Subway or go get a fucking job as a bouncer somewhere or do something other than professional wrestling. But goddamn it, you're taking up a fucking spot. You're going to write a goddamn letter because you're being yelled at? Because my little pussy hurts or my vagina's drip. Fuck off. Get the fuck out of the business if you don't like it.
I think it had to be said. by somebody. You know, we talk about this all the time. You have reached the status that I have never reached, and of course Clyde. But I believe, and I want to get your thoughts on this before we throw it to Clyde. You know, one half of the GCW Tag Team Champions, one half of the Sevenfold Saints. What are your thoughts on Clyde Braddock?
I'm going to be pretty biased about Clyde because Clyde's actually a friend of mine. But I watched Clyde come into his own. When I showed up to GCW, he was very heavy. But the one thing that me and my crews would agree on is he was an athlete from day one. We could tell he was a shooter. We could tell he had heart. He had determination, and he wanted to be a part of this business. And he just hadn't had the right guys that were pulling him in the right direction. I know he started with some build-a-mot training, and not really sure what happened there. I wasn't there, so I can't really speculate. But I've watched him kind of come into his own, and he's really, coming into be a hell of a pro. I know Simon Says works with him quite a bit on everything from promos to some ideas, and he was at Wrestle Brawl down here and really showed up and showed out. I got all the respect in the world for him. I consider him a friend, and I'm really glad to see how well he's doing. And I expect some really good things out of him. He's a hell of a guy, hell of a wrestler. And again, I'm biased because he is a friend of mine. But honestly, if he was a shits, I would tell you he's a shits. He does still have a long way to go. I mean, he ain't nowhere near top guy or anything like that. But if I had to pick a guy in the entire state of Georgia right now that's a blue chipper, I'd probably say it's Clyde Braddock.
Clyde, any questions for Francisco Ciatso?
Yeah, we've never really talked about it. I've came down there plenty of times with you guys. I fucking love it down there. I actually want to move down there. But what kind of advice do you have for me, like coming, if you were in my shoes, what kind of advice would you have for me?
Stay as busy as possible, but keep your eyes open. Now that sounds kind of like a double-edged sword. You got to stay away from the shit shows. You got to recognize, what's worth it and what's not. If you got a choice between working some garbage show and staying home, maybe watching some tape, I would probably stay home and watch some tape. At this stage in the game, at this stage of your career, at this stage of your life, save your body and work where it matters. Stick with what you're doing. Stick with the promotions that are doing right by you. What's that? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Sorry, there's a bit of an echo. We apologize. Clyde, just
no, it's okay. Stick with the groups that are doing right by you. Whether it's the GCWs, the Vintage Nation, and keep your eyes open and your ears open, your mouth shut. And that's the biggest piece of advice that I give anybody that's in your position. Listen to guys, like Micah Taylor. Listen to guys like Simon Says. Listen to guys like the Marquis Bruce Santini. Listen to guys like Corey Chambers. Sometimes just sitting in the car and listening and kind of taking it all in, you'll learn just as much. But be a student of the game. Don't make the mistake I did when I was coming up and be narrow-minded. Watch everything from Ring of Honor to Dragon Gate to independent wrestling, to WWE, TNA. Don't make the big mistake that I did because I realized it too late, and it might have cost me a few shots here or there, because I was very narrow-minded. And watch everything. Be a fan of all of it. Be a fan of everybody. Because whether it's Ring of Honor, whether it's Dragon Gate, WWE, Vintage Wrestling, it doesn't make a difference. You're going to learn something from everybody.
Eddie, any questions?
Hey, hold on one second, guys. Somebody wants to say hi before he leaves. Who's this?
Hello.
Who is this?
This is Clyde Braddock.
Clyde Braddock, this is the Emerald Emperor of professional wrestling, one half of the Circle of Disrespect. Simon Says.
Simon, how are you doing, man? It's wicked. How was trivia this evening?
Trivia was fantastic. We had a great turnout, a very exciting quiz contest where people put their useless knowledge to use, and I bended their brains. Clyde, are you busy counting possums or something you couldn't respond to when asked who this was?
Well, Wicked said he was me, so I was letting him go with it.
Oh my God, Clyde, go spit in a jar.
I do. It actually,
Wicked, how are
I've
you,
learned
sir?
how to play one. What now?
How are you, Wicked? Clyde, be quiet.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, God.
I asked this to Francisco, and he starts shitting on Captain America. What are your thoughts on Captain America?
Captain America is patriotic if you're into that sort of thing. I, as many people may not know, it shouldn't come as a surprise. I'm not a fan of heroes. I think heroes are overrated, and you can't have good without evil, but you can definitely have evil without good, and I tend to lean more towards the villains. So if you ask me my thoughts on Captain America, I think Red Skull is far superior of a character.
Okay, well then let's
And
ask
boom
this.
goes the dynamite.
Let's
I also believe that Captain America, much like Iron Man and Thor, have the bleakest rogues gallery of the wide spectrum of Marvel and DC superheroes. If you can name me more than 3 name villains of either one of those I just listed off, I will be very, very surprised.
Well, you have when it comes to Iron Man, of course, Mandarin.
Iron Man, on Mandarin,
Okay, Mandarin. You also have Ultron.
Ultron. I'll give you that, even though he's more of an Avenger villain. But go on.
Well, yeah. Well, we all know he was created by Hank Pym, but
You're stuttering there. You're stuttering there, Wicked. Go on.
and also Norman Osborn. When Norman Osborn was president.
Incorrect, sir. Norman Osborn is a Spider-Man villain. Good try, though.
Yes, I know that, but also whenever everything happened, and Iron Man, I believe, was in charge of Shield. He wasn't Norman president at the time.
Incorrect, sir. He is not an Iron Man villain. He is a Spider-Man villain. So far, you have Mandarin, and I gave you Ultron, even though that was cheap. But Norman Osborn, incorrect.
Well, there you go. We named 2. We'll leave it at that.
Wicked, it's 2. That's it. There's no way you'll ever be able to convince me otherwise. And because it was on the air, and I actually like you and your Red Lantern rings, I'm not going to discredit your knowledge of comic book knowledge. So here is the King of Florida, Francisco Ciatso. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, buddy.
How are you, gentlemen? I'm back.
Yes, I know. He and I are going to have a long conversation backstage. Okay. Before we let you go, sir, Eddie, any questions you would like to ask Francisco?
Yeah, I want to throw this one out at you. I want to see if you have a revamp on an answer you gave me a little bit earlier during a previous interview. We've talked about the factor of people not taking the art of the promo seriously.
Yes.
In this day and age, why do you, as time has gone by and you've had a chance to see so many different people in so many different states, why do people still not take it seriously?
Because they don't put enough emphasis on the story of the business. The way I teach promos is the same way I would teach you how to work a match. You've got your opener, you've got your heat, you got your shine, you got your opener, you got your shine, you got your heat, you got your go home, you got your come back, or whatever the case may be. You work your promos the same way. And, the guys don't put over their character enough. They're too worried about the moves that they do or whatever the case may be. The art of promos is something I learned from Adrian very, very, very early on. And it's why I got good at it. And I practiced and practiced and practiced. I'll practice in a mirror. I'll practice when I was driving. I'll practice talking to a lamp at the house. Didn't matter where I was. I was always practicing my promos. And that's why the guys that I fell in love with in business were guys like, Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage. And those guys embodied professional wrestling. They were able to, I could close my eyes and listen to their promo, and it would tell a story. And that's what we try to do. That's what me and Simon try to do. And in my opinion, there's very few guys that are on the indies right now that are better on the mic than I am, and Simon is one of them. In my opinion, Simon Says is probably the best storyteller, promo-wise, of anyone on the independent wrestling scene. In fact, and he's gone now, so... but I've said this 1,000 times. I've told this story. We were on a show for Alpha, for WXW, because I know you guys are wrapping up. I'll try to be quick. But The Rock was there, and he came to watch Snooker's daughter debut on WXW here in Orlando. And The Rock was on the show, and he pulled Simon aside. And if I wouldn't have heard it with my own ears, he pulled Simon aside, and he goes, "You know what, kid?" He goes, "You have an it factor. You have something that a lot of guys don't, and that can't be taught." He goes, "Your timing is perfect." He said, your crowd interaction was perfect. He said, everything from top to bottom was exactly what was needed. And I couldn't believe it. And that stuck with me to this day. You know, I mean, there's nobody better on the mic than The Rock. And he was complimenting Simon Says on his mic. You know, that's incredible to me. So I know I kind of went off on a tangent, but that's just had to touch on that, just kind of solidify what I was talking about, you know.
How can everyone get in touch with you, whether it be for bookings, whether it be for fan mail, hate mail, death threats, you know, all the above? Anything to get a lot of people in jail?
Yes, you can reach me at Facebook, Francisco Ciatso. You can reach me at Twitter, at Francisco Ciatso. You can follow me on Instagram, at Francisco Ciatso. Send me a personal message. I handle all show in the box bookings for the Emerald Emperor Simon Says, The Real Deal, Even Highlight Reel, Mike Cruz, the Wrestling Bum, Milo Beasley. I also handle All Pro Leo Cole's bookings, as well as Joe Rockhead, a.k.a. Dan Kriegbaum, the 3 Count himself. You can reach us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hit us up. Let us know what town you want to go. Hashtag Making Towns. Hashtag Barbells and Bar Tab Tour. Hashtag Circle of Disrespect. Get Big. The Wrestling Bum. Man, we got them all. I'm just happy to be doing this, and I'm blessed every day to have the opportunities I've got. And just appreciate all the fans and appreciate you guys, especially GCW, who's really giving us a chance to show up and show out. And I can't thank Mad Dog enough. As much as I hate him, in front of that curtain behind the scenes, I love the guy to death.
Francisco, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on for this extended interview. You guys have a great time. And Friday night at the Masquerade in Atlanta, Saturday in Orlando, and Sunday, where was that? Sunday?
Plant City.
Sunday, Plant City, Florida. We're going to be heading up against Generation Genesis for NWA Florida Underground. So we appreciate it, you guys. And Wicked, Angie, Eddie, and Clyde, Dum Dum, don't be late on Saturday. Get here on time.
I won't be.
And have my 20 shirts ready.
I will have your 20 shirts. You better return my Macho Man DVD. You were holding it hostage.
We got to talk about that. But we'll talk later. I got to go by.
Amanda gave me that for Christmas. You, sir.
Good night.
And he is out.
Good night.
He's gone.
He's gone. Bye-bye.
Wow. Like a thief in the night, Francisco Ciatso, everyone. The godfather of the fanny pack, the czar of the Zubas, and, of course, the leader of the Circle of Disrespect. Didn't get a chance to ask him about what happened with AJ Saturday, or 2 Saturdays ago, but we will talk to someone that was very close to that situation right here. The fallout of February 28th still continues. The To Be Determined show, Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
Hey, this is the voice, Ted Guinness, and I'm inviting you to tune in every Thursday night after Cause and Effect and after SmackDown goes off the air for The Show, the only show on Beyond Ringside dedicated to all things WWE, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and your phone calls. That's The Show, every Thursday night after SmackDown goes off the air We go live right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and the Beyond Ringside app.
Ladies and gentlemen, the To Be Determined Show live Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com. Thank you to everyone that is checking us out on Android, Amazon, and BlackBerry, whether it be for iTunes Radio, TuneIn, Winamp, Shoutcast Radio, Ustream, iTunes, Stitcher, Speaker, and of course, Podomatic. You can find Beyond Ringside on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace. Yes, there still is a MySpace. Thank you, Justin Timberlake. And LinkedIn and much, much more. BeyondRingside.com. Make sure you check out the Beyond Ringside Radio app. You can download that on your Google Play Store. And what else, Eddie?
Google Play Store, Amazon. You can actually find it on Amazon as well as BlackBerry. BlackBerry World, I think it is.
Yes, BlackBerry World. That's where I got mine. Because unfortunately, I have a retarded BlackBerry. It is like Ace Haven. It's like the Ace Haven. Of
oh god,
minus the zebra print.
Minus the zebra print, of course. Yeah. Which I'm sure that when Ace Haven and Tyler Gage show up, Ace Haven and Francisco are going to have a lot to talk about. I'm sure they're going to exchange many a workout regime.
I have words that I can't say too. Like broccoli.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Clyde?
I said I have words like that I can't say too, like broccoli, broccoli, or bologna.
Bologna.
Chopping broccoli.
Chopping broccoli. Oh, Dana Carvey. Actually, yes, we all know it's chopping broccoli, but still. Now, February 28th. Is a day that none of us will forget. Anybody that knows anything about Southeastern wrestling has been feeling the ripples, the butterfly effect. There was a butterfly that flapped its wings, and that butterfly is Fast Eddie Layne at the GCW event at the Pell City complex. I was doing commentary, as anybody can see it on YouTube. GCW TV, GCWProWrestling.com. I'm doing commentary with the Cause, Robert Cosper, and the Commissioner, the Commish, Fast Eddie Layne. Now, in the ring is AJ Steele against Spiral is the boys. The kids call him, the hip kids. And Bernie Kwanowitz is the referee, and at ringside is the special enforcer. And the special enforcer was put there by Fast Eddie Layne. Dan Sawyer. Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. Now, I see, and I think it appeared to happen pretty clearly on GCW TV, on YouTube. Dan decides he's not going to make a 3 count. For Spiral. Spiral puts his hands on Dan. He's hit from behind. And then he is pinned 1, 2, 3 in the ring. Now, you see this happen. Commish, what goes through your mind as this is going on?
I have been through this 1,000 times, and I have not watched the footage. I remember what happened as it occurred. Up until a certain moment. And from this vantage point, Dan Sawyer and I have known each other for a number of years. And we have worked side by side. We have worked against each other. We have been teammates. We've been adversaries. And if there was one person, with everything that had been going on with the foundation of professional wrestling, with everything that had been happening with the 5-Star Fight Club, with everything that had been happening with, yes, I'm going to say Sevenfold Saints too. With everything that had happened with Team GCW. If there were two people that I thought were on the same page as family, having found a way to get through all of this, it was Sawyer and myself. And lo and behold, when I asked him, okay, a lot of people say I put him on the spot, and yes, I may have. But the fact of the matter is, I felt that drastic times called for drastic measures, and I needed somebody that I could trust to come out to a fair and equitable decision on a GCW Heavyweight Championship match that wasn't going to end up with somebody come running in to save the day or screw the day. So I went to Sawyer. And I said, I need you to be the special enforcer. Well, at first he's like, okay. Then he actually comes to me and says, well, what about a title shot for myself? I said, dude, I don't have a problem with that. I've never had a problem with you getting a title shot. You're one of the top stars in this company. Let's get through this situation here, and we'll definitely work on that. I said, you got to remember, Micah originally never lost the title. So I do have a sequence of events that I have to go through. I'm trying to solidify the situation in the rematch between Spiral and Steel. I'm trying to set everything up to where Micah can have his rematch that he deserves. And then also trying to find a way to get Sawyer a match that he deserves. But then he's also had the Southeast Regional Championship and the tag team titles. So, here we go. February 28th hits. The week before, there's been a decided lack of communication, and it's not on my part. Sorry about that, kids. Pop, cork, gone. I'm around. I'm easy to find. I've got more email addresses than Hillary Clinton could ever dream of, and most of mine are actually public. But the fact of the matter is, when it came down to it, the person I thought that I could trust to stand up for what is best for the company turned around and stood up for what was best for himself. Screw Spiral, screw Steel, screw the title, screw the company. Yeah, screw me. Fine. Not a problem. Wick, I'm going to hold it right there. You go ahead, pick it up.
Now, I see you go to the ring, and as Angie pointed out on the way home Sunday morning, let's try that again. Sunday morning. Morning. Hi, morning.
Easy like Sunday morning.
You are the Batman of professional wrestling because you had a contingency plan for the contingency plan. And then I see you go to the ring. I see, as everybody can clearly see on GCW TV, you call out someone who you thought that you could trust after being betrayed by someone who you thought you could trust. See, contingency plan. For a contingency plan. You had it lined up, Batman.
You've known me as it pertains to the Beyond. Look, let's put this in perspective. When it comes to the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, do my backup plans not have backup plans?
Yes. See, I thought you were the Commissioner Gordon, but you're not. You're the Batman.
Hashtag human bird.
You're the Dark Knight.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
No, that's my line. And you hit the man's music, which I thought they should have already had the music lined up for you. I'm just saying.
How many hats do I wear?
I know. I think that somebody should have let the camera know.
You should have been wearing a hat when you hit the ring, because that might have helped your head a little bit.
Hold on. You're jumping ahead, Stephen King.
Sorry.
Damn, this ain't a... I know this isn't a Christopher Nolan movie like Memento where we're playing it backwards.
Okay.
Well, if you want me to, I'll pick it up right there, and I'll go ahead and say yes.
Motherfucker, let me pick it up.
Okay, Father Mucker.
You hit the music,
Father Mucker.
And Micah Taylor comes out, and the place goes crazy. Micah Taylor has had history with AJ Steele because AJ Steele threatened Micah's family. And Tracy and Spiral was there to stick up for Micah, and you go to the ring with Micah, and Cosper and I are there. We're calling the play-by-play. Now, I want to switch an angle on this. Clyde, you're watching this from the monitor. You see what's starting to unfold. You've seen that Spiral has been subjugated by Dan Sawyer. You see what has transpired thus far. You see Micah come running out. You see Eddie in the ring, and your thoughts as this is about to unfold.
Well, I was just as blown away as anybody else. Like, because I was thinking, like, Mike is about to clean Dan's clock. And then the roof caved in.
Figuratively and then some.
And it literally did. It was horrible. I couldn't believe it.
Yes, hearts were definitely broken. This past Wednesday on the To Be Determined show, we had Dan and Cosper on, and they, of course, had a different point of view of it. Clyde stated his point of view. I stated my point of view. Eddie, you're the only point of view that wasn't heard that was relevant to this. I'm doing commentary. Cosper's beside me. Micah comes running out, gets in the ring. You're in the ring. And then I see Dan take your glasses off your face. And what did he say to you, by the way?
I would rather not say.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know it's still a very sore subject, but...
Oh, not nearly as sore as C1, C2, C3 in my damn neck.
That is for damn certain. That was heard around the world, buddy.
For those who missed it the previous Tuesday on Back to Basics, I broke the silence a little bit in advance and made the statement, yes, I did go have an MRI done. Yes, C1, C2, C3 were compressed. So, for more than anything else, hey, Micah, thanks for the late Christmas present, buddy. I slept Saturday and Sunday night in a neck brace.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It took me over a week to get full mobility back in my neck, and it still hurts every once in a while. But you know something? Lesson learned. I thought I had two of the cornerstones of global championship wrestling set and ready to carry this company even further. But yet, lo and behold, not A, but B. Not this, but that. Not electricity, but power. Put them together. Hashtag powers that be. Or PTB. I'm not going to go any further on this for one simple reason. I have made the statement on Back to Basics and on BR Live that my road on this is slightly different for one simple reason. And this is something that's going to be carried through. I do a lot to keep global championship wrestling business, my part of the business, separate from Beyond Ringside Sports Radio. I've heard the words that have been said. Am I happy about them? Hell no. But understand the basic concept of life here. What happens at Global is global. What happens on BR, that's an entirely different animal. Just like GCW is a certain person's baby, this is my baby. And I'll defend it 7 days a week. You want to bring a chair? I'll bring a frickin' lazy boy. I'll throw the whole damn recliner at you. And then pop that sumbitch open. You want to bring a cookie tin? I'll bring the whole effing oven. You want to bring a car bumper? I'll bring a whole four-wheeler. You want to bring backup? Fine.
I got you, Eddie.
Fool me once. Good. Fool me twice. Here's yours for the week, kids. Won't fucking happen.
Yay.
No, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. This past Wednesday, Dan and Cosper spoke briefly, and kind of jokingly about the situation that happened.
I'm sure they had a great effing laugh about it.
We still haven't hit on exactly what happened. We still haven't hit the nail on the head, so to speak. But there has been talk of Cosper being the new commissioner.
Yay! Less headache for me. Whoop-de-damn to do. Look, I will tell you this, point blank, plain and simple. I have held the commissionership on 3 different occasions. After the last time everything went down, especially when it came down to El Professor taking my effing job. El freaking Fresser! Love him to death. Tremendous guy. I'll come off that part. Look, if Cosper thinks for a hot second he can run the commissioner's office better than me, have a ball. I will hang behind the microphone. But I'm going to say this point blank. If it's somebody I think can carry the banner of global to where it needs to go into the future, as in bigger, badder, better, brighter, then I'll sign off with my blessings. I'll even bake you a red velvet cake. But if I think for a hot second that it's going to be more of this me, horse nuts crap, I will fight to my deathbed.
Eddie, you can't let this happen. If Cosper and Mad Dog, and I think we've danced around the subject enough. The third member of the powers that be, this is how it occurred. Eddie, from your point of view, or you said you've spoken about it, if you would rather I say what I saw.
Do it.
Micah Taylor comes to the ring. Dan takes your glasses off your face, and he says something to you that the microphones didn't pick up. I was hoping that they would whenever I went back and saw the TV airing. And Cosper's beside me, and Micah clocks you with a chair and knocks you out. Now, the reaction from the fans is one thing. My legit reaction is there for the whole world to see on the YouTube channel. I heard everybody in the back, but I want to know, Clyde, what were your truthful and honest thoughts whenever you saw Micah turn on Spiral, somebody who you've trained with, and Micah, who is your trainer, a man that is instrumental in the Clyde Braddock that we know, and a man that is also instrumental in the Clyde Braddock we know in Spiral, with this transpiring right there, right before your eyes. What are your thoughts on the chair shot from Micah, and then your thoughts on Micah seemingly turning on the GCW middleweight champion, the Bosnian badass, Spiral?
At first, no discredit to Eddie at all. But that one didn't mean as much to me just from where I've came from and my whole story, coming from the underground and all that. That one didn't really upset me as much as whenever he hit Spiral. Because we've always had an unspoken agreement that, if you have any conflicts that are with the underground, like if you're wanting competition, then you come face to face. You don't attack them after they've, been wrestling with a chair. And, I was like, man, I'm about to go out there. I'm about to go out there right now. And then Steven, being the better person that he is, he was like, well, we need to let them work these differences out. We'll see them later on down the line, hopefully. And he was like, plus, Mike is in there swinging a chair like a madman. And I was like, well, you do have a point, sir. And, I was not expecting that at all. And, just not trying to be a baby at all or anything, but it hurt more than anything, because something that he taught us, now he's doing it. I mean, he taught us to be straightforward with each other. And then he was going against that. So, it's very upsetting. Very, very upsetting.
Clyde, I'm going to stop you right there for a second. I want you to think about what you just said. You said the word straightforward and Micah Taylor in the same sentence, just like I've said straightforward and Dan Sawyer in the same sentence. Something I've never said about Cosper, but still, that's an entirely different animal. But understand this. The man that you're talking about in that chair, swinging a chair like in the ring, swinging a chair like a madman. Discretion is the better part of valor, and I'm going to tell you why right now. They said it point blank, plain and clear the other night. They're calling themselves the team to beat in the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament. Once again, I haven't seen the footage. I don't know what's aired, but I heard that part because it got back to me. And lo and behold, that means, guess what? You're on their sights now. Wick, you might be in their sights now.
Whoa,
Styles.
No, dude.
No, dude. Where's my car?
No, that was my Bill and Ted.
Oh, no, I was just screwing around going to do to my car.
Oh, believe me, we know that. Steve and Clyde and I have already been in a conference call. The day after it happened, we were all sitting around. Amanda was sitting beside Clyde, and Angie was sitting beside me, and there was a piñata and a margarita and a sombrero for whatever reason sitting beside Steve. Kick. This means that everything is flipped upside down. I felt like I was in a Tribe Called Quest video, or maybe even a D-Light video. Everything was turned upside down. And I told Clyde, I said, Braddock, it's come to a point now to where Micah and Dan have inserted themselves into the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament. I told him that with that being said, we are the number one seed in this tournament. We are the reigning GCW Tag Team Champions. Plain and simple. We fought hard for those titles. We've held the Peach State Tag Team titles. We could be the UIW Tag Team Champions if we wanted to, but we'll let the beautiful bald besties get that, then snatch it away from them. No offense, Adler and Callaway, but that's just how it goes when it comes to Sevenfold Saints. The only thing holding us back is the fact that Clyde is doing big things in Florida, but the Sevenfold Saints being represented in Florida and Georgia on the same night. Now, Eddie, the only thing that stopped me from coming out there was the simple fact of Micah swinging the chair, as Clyde so eloquently put it, a madman. I consider you a friend. I consider Dan a friend. I like Cosper. Cosper and I are cool, but I feel like they're the ISIS of professional wrestling right now. And no offense to those that have been beheaded by ISIS, and to ISIS, praise to Allah. But
that big giant woman.
Yes. But ISIS, that's great. ISIS, Amazon.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Way to break the mood. But Cosper and Dan go on Cause and Effect Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com, which you can find us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Winamp, Southwest Radio, Ustream, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and Podomatic.
My baby's prepared.
But for them to come and just take a foothold on Thursday nights and then to perpetrate this against you, it seemed like this was very well planned out. I feel like they should be yelling Hell Hydra instead of so what. As the Sevenfold Saints say, don't be a maybe, be a definite, forever forward. But there's so what. It's very simple. I believe the sheeple can get behind it. The people
I think
like
Walmart has a shirt that says that.
I think they do too. It's so guys like Joe Nelson.
Yeah.
So they can really get it. And I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to break down to the cool factor. Well, they're not, because the GCW fans see directly through that, because the GCW fans, the UIW fans, they're not complete idiots. Southern Fried Championship Wrestling fans, very smart. They understand. They get it. They get the fact that the Sevenfold Saints are for the greater good. Without some of these so-called quote-unquote heroes, and I'm sure Dan, and I'm sure that Kaz and Micah see themselves as heroes. They're not. But they see themselves as heroes, and these so-called heroes, we're just the very anvil upon which they're forged. And that is Clyde's vibrator going off, and I'm sure it's Francisco blowing his phone up with text, talking about beepers and Zubas and Surge.
Fuck. I did not know you could hear it. My bad.
Yeah, you can hear it every week. It's okay. It was just funny.
I thought it was a tribute to Tasha Simone's vibrator from last season.
Oh my God, that was worse. Oh, Cosper called himself the manager of the greatest tag team. As I pointed out last Wednesday, and Clyde can tell you this, Eddie, we both stuck up for you. We feel like that there was a wrong perpetrated. The Sevenfold Saints see it as this, and I told them this on the conference call. When they get in our way, it's bad enough that they've already did this to you. We're going to fuck them up. There comes a certain time to where, I do remember where Yoda, in this case, Yoda will be Micah Taylor, where the young Luke Skywalker, of course, being Clyde Braddock, where he carried him, and then Yoda died. And then the greatest champion of all time, the greatest Jedi, was Clyde Braddock, a.k.a. Luke Skywalker. And in this case, Steve Styles, of course, would be the cool Han Solo, because Steve Styles would definitely drop kick first. As Han shot first, Steve Styles, of course, being the Han Solo. What I'm saying is, we could be in Star Wars Episode 7. I'll be Chewbacca.
He can't have my vest.
Yeah, of course. Oh, whoa, back up. No, nobody fucking with the vest now. Your Guy Gardner, quote unquote, vest.
Well, everybody still calls it a Han Solo vest, so screw it. Nobody's getting the vest.
But as soon as they step in the Sevenfold Saints way, I'm going to put Cosper to shame. Cosper, I love you. Amber, cool girl. I think that Amanda Braddock, Angie Nemesis, Angie Travis, and Amber Cosper could be the new designing women, because they definitely pull off that vibe, and it's no disrespect to Amber, but I'm going to rip Cosper apart. I'm going to tell him to go back to his, and I'm not going to repeat any of this, but I'll go ahead and cut it. Cosper, here's what you do. Cosper, we all, we're cool, we're buddy, but when you call yourself a manager, that means that you've paid dues. Your shit's blowing up too. Is Francisco mass texting everybody?
It's fucking Ciatso. He's fucking
Ciatso. I am so glad he doesn't have my number in that phone.
Ciatso, we love you, Ciatso.
And don't give it to him, Clyde.
The circle of disrespect is also in their crosshairs then. But when you fuck with the Sevenfold Saints, when you call yourself a manager, Cosper, maybe you need to go back to work at Coke. Push some Fanta for the Nazis, do what you got to do. Stay the fuck out of our business. Dan Sawyer, you and Micah call yourselves the best tag team. Cosper, you guys don't even know what tag team is. You guys have your heads so far up your asses, you can taste what you guys had in the 80s. You might as well be wearing a fanny pack in your intestines because you're licking them.
Ew.
That was the thing in the 80s.
I'm so sorry.
It's like a rat thing cartoon. Since they want to talk about the 80s, they'll get that. Just stay the fuck out of our way. Plain and simple. And I told Steve this. And I told Clyde this. I told Amanda this. Angie's heard this 1,000 times. But you guys fuck with Eddie. Eddie's a friend of ours. And that was strike one and strike two. You get in our way in this JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament, we're going to rip your heads off and shit down your neck. Anything that you think can happen is not going to happen. Because as sure as the sun will shine tomorrow, Clyde Braddock is like a nuclear bomb. When he goes off, he gets dirty, and there's collateral damage everywhere. When Steve Styles blows his load, he blows it all over everyone around, metaphorically and literally.
Not literally.
Literally, yes, I'm sure he gets off a little bit. Did you see that drop kick he put at UIW? Holy shit, he drop kicked the shell at Dylan Cook. But
That was
just
great.
ask. It was fantastic. But just that ounce that you guys think that you have up on everybody, you don't. Clyde Braddock is right there where he wants to be because Micah Taylor is just kind of brushing him aside. You see, Mad Dog talked about the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament, whereas Micah talked about going after Spiral. They're not even on the same page. Tell him to send. You need.
I can't tell him to stop. I can't tell him to stop because that's just going to make it worse.
You need to send back
You're
boobs. Boobs.
God.
Ooh, you could bring back the old one. Next time you get Cez on here, turn around and ask him how many types of fish he can name.
But
Do the Denton tribute.
it's time for them to get on the same page, and it's already too late because they're never going to be on the same page. When it comes to the powers that be, I'll tell you, any great supervillain team-up always falls apart. Why? Because they can never get on the same page. I mean, let's think about it for a second. They are not, and never will be, Bob Seger. So they're not going to turn the page. They're not going to get on the page. They're not Metallica with their hair chopped off. They're not that. It's two egotistical professional wrestlers, two greats in our business. Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, Micah Taylor, going one-on-one with each other. And they don't even realize it. And Cosper's too fucking stupid to know that. Great guy. Great guy. But he reminds me of Rasputin more and more every time I see him. He's not a manager.
He reminds me more of Raspberry than every time I see him.
He's just a fan with a really good radio show that has his head up Dan's ass. I said it. Clyde, your thoughts? And those are Clyde's thoughts on what's going on.
Shit.
There he is. There he is.
I put it on fucking mute so it wouldn't be vibrating all over the place. And then I start talking to air and Gold Bear. So, anyway. But, yeah, they do need to get on the same page if they're going to be a tag team. And I got news for Dan. If in a tag match, I will not wrestle him. I want to wrestle Micah. And that's all I have to say about it. Because that's something that I've always wanted to do. And I've wrestled him before in training and all that. We wrestled there, but never in the ring in front of fans. And it's going to be something to see. Just me and him could be an amazing match. And then now we're going to add Steve Styles and Dan to it, and Wicked. I mean, come on. It's going to be a hellacious match.
I want to say this, Eddie. In post-production, I want this part cut out. This whole little conversation that we've talked about for GCW, I want it all cut out. I want you to send this to Dan Sawyer. And I want this, before you put it up on Podomatic, do me a great favor, take all this out, because I want everyone to hear this. And this has been the most important conversation we've had in some time when it comes to GCW and the Sevenfold Saints. We're going to put aside that she stabbed Clyde Braddock. We're going to put aside that she took a great harpoon from Clyde Braddock. We're offering amnesty to Calm Like a Bomb Pandora, because let me tell you guys something. For those that missed it, Tracy Taylor come out and said some very harsh words about Pandora, something that I don't think that the fans got behind. I don't think the fans liked too much at all.
They were confused.
They were very confused, but those that got it were like, boo, boo this bitch. She called out Pandora, saying that Pandora skipped the line, so to speak, to become GCW Women's Champion. And lo and behold, the very next match, Micah Taylor hits you with a chair, and the powers that be come to be.
And actually, Tracy's exact words were, while Tracy was absent, Pandora weaseled her way into the championship picture before she ever got her rematch.
Now.
No, I'm just shooting straight. Tracy wanted to shoot her mouth off, and I remembered it.
No, you are right. Caught Like a Bomb Pandora, for those that do not know, has been managing, and actually managing, not valeting, managing Mad Dog Dan Sawyer and the 5-Star Fight Club. Now, Dan, with this, I think that Micah and Tracy are more on the page than Dan and Micah. So I think that we're going to give amnesty to Kalamaka and Pandora, and you can come join us, because I'm telling you right now, I see where this is going. I know where egos are. Clyde Braddock has an ego. I have an ego. Steve Styles has an ego. But we're also for the greater good. They're not for the greater good.
We've contacted our attorneys, and the restraining order is
Yes, we have dropped the restraining order. If she would like to, we have pendingly dropped it. This is going to be big. It's going to be like Liam Neeson's cock big.
Liam Neeson just does not need to let any more female members of his family leave their house.
Well, I've heard by several websites that Liam Neeson's cock is so big that he made Journey stop believing.
I was going to say, how big is it?
You're going to say how big is it?
Yes.
Eddie, I've told you need to watch Hollywood Babylon.
Yes.
Hollywood Babylon. We're about halfway through Finlandia raspberry vodka, so go fuck yourselves. Now, Clyde Braddock. We're about to take our last break of the evening. When we come back, we're going to talk about what you have upcoming at Vintage. And also, Friday night, you're going to be somewhere. And then I heard you were going to be on a show with Paul Lee. When we come back, the To Be Determined Show.
Oh,
We're going
fuck that.
Fuck yourself. Right here, the To Be Determined Show, live Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
Hey, this is Stan Grubb for Wrestle Rage Radio right here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for myself and Smart Rage as we discuss the professional wrestling business from WWE, TNA, and all things in between. We'll have an interview here or there. We'll see what we can do to just keep you entertained. And along the way, we're going to have to bring up some emotion and make you think. That's what we like to do. So join us here on Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you at Wrestle Rage.
Hey, everyone. This is the Cause, Robert Cosper, host of Cause and Effect's Thursday Night Radio Throwdown. This is your invitation to join me, along with the Effects Stuart Couch, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, and all of the craziness that is C&E, right here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. It's wrestling radio with a twist, and some might just say with a twist of lime when the bar is open. Cause and Effect, right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Smart Rage from Wrestle Rage Radio, coming to you from the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Join myself and my co-host, Super Stan Grubb, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, as we present Wrestle Rage Radio, where we rant and rave on everything in the world of pro wrestling. Sometimes we'll have a guest. Sometimes it'll be just me and Stan BSing about the sport that we love, pro wrestling. Check us out. Tune in Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, only on the Beyond Ringside Network.
Hey, this is Stuart Couch from the Cause and Effect Thursday Night Throwdown. Catch us here every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Layne.
And I'm the Cause, Robert Cosper.
And this is your invitation to join us
And the Hitman, Big Daddy Cool, Ryan Adcock, right here for the Saturday Showcase.
That's Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10, 9, 8 a.m. Pacific time. See? We do math around this place. Be sure to catch us right here on BeyondRingside.com. You can also listen through Winamp for Android and BlackBerry, as well as the Shoutcast mobile app for Apple as well. Remember, that's Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
And let me tell you how you can find the Hitman, Big Daddy Cool, Ryan Adcock on social media. It's very easy. It's at www.kissmyass.
Whoa. Stop that right there, folks. We'll see you Saturday on the Showcase. Bye for now. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the To Be Determined show right here on BeyondRingside.com. Greetings, this is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne, and let me go ahead and clue you in right off the bat. We do things a little bit differently on the To Be Determined show. We get a little bit more blunt, we get a little bit more adult, we get a little bit more explicit. In other words, this ain't your grandpa's radio show. And, well, it still ain't your grandpa's wrestling either, so it's kind of like that. So, brace yourself. Anything can happen. Come along for the ride. Anything and everything is to be determined.
The To Be Determined show live, Beyond Ringside Radio Network, BeyondRingside.com. We were discussing what unfolded February 28th at GCW, but Vintage Pro Wrestling is about to get the grand design, about to get their final solution. Clyde, Braddock, you're back at Vintage. How does it feel now being a pretty much regular at Vintage?
Oh, it's a great feeling. Lot of talent down there, guys. A lot of talent. No discredit to GCW because we have a lot of great talent too. But guys like John Davis and Corey Chavis. Milo Beasley comes down there a lot. Bruce Santee. Let's see who else. There's a lot of talent, and there's Biff Slater, he's really good. Don Maximo, Mike Cruz, that whole crew, all those guys are down there. Monster Washburn, he's a big 7-foot animal. I mean, it's a lot of big guys too. Like they're big as shit, and really strong. Like I watched John Davis pick up Biff Slater in a torture rack type move, and Biff Slater's every bit of 330, 340, and picked him up, no jump, no nothing, just rah. And it's really, it makes me feel good about myself being able to be down there with all that talent, and it's moving on up in the world. So I'm really thankful to be down there.
Eddie, you were also a part of Vintage not too long ago. What is it about Vintage that seems to bring out the best in wrestlers, workers, and the fans? Because they seem to have a pretty steady fan base, and a lot of the best independent wrestlers and workers seem to go through the halls of Vintage professional wrestling.
For me, it's kind of simple. Echo. Charlie. Abel. Scattered, covered, and chunked. Sorry, I had to do that. The Reader's Digest condensed cut for me is very simple. Vintage, in and of itself, they have a great core group that they have worked to put together. And some of the names that Clyde just mentioned a minute ago, and I'll go a little bit further, the Dark City Fight Club, Corey and John, Beast Mode Tag Team. These two teams can hook it up, go back and forth, and there's going to be a mushroom cloud over Orlando or any town they're in. Whether it's the All-Pro Leo Gold, whether it's Mike Cruz, whether it's Los Mendejos. You've got so many different stars who come in and out the door, and they are all talented professional wrestlers. And that there's a number of promotions down in the Sunshine State of Florida. There's some tremendous talent down there to begin with. And the way that I look at everything is when I was there in November for Survival Games, They had start to finish a well thought out lineup. The match order was great. The talent was incredible. The stories that were told in the ring, and here's your curtain for a second, kids. One of the things that we've talked about on this show more than I can count, and the one thing that we agree upon deeper than anything, forget about the fact that as Fast Eddie Layne, I am, the affable, lovable commissioner for Global. Forget about the fact that as the spiritual leader of the Sevenfold Saints, Wicked Nemesis is one of the most diabolical SOBs you'll ever run across. Or that Clyde Braddock is one of the most focused, determined, and single-minded professionals that you will ever find, who takes no crap off anybody and just as soon punch in the mouth to say hello sometimes. But we agree. We agree that when a match is more than a match, because it's a story being told in the ring that the fans, that you who pay your hard-earned money to come see, can wrap your heads and your heart around. That is something we all believe in genuinely. And I will speak for Angie on this one. I'm not going to put any demonstrative cute stuff on there because Angie's cool as hell to begin with. We don't have to put any other defining adjectives on there. But she would agree with us on this one as well. When you tell a story and you tell it right, and the fans can appreciate it, that's where everything comes together. And that's something that Vintage has been doing for quite a while. I've followed them for a couple of years. I've had a number of stars of Vintage on there. On Beyond Ringside Radio. I've had a chance to interview everybody from Pete Canada to Don Maximo, of course, Francisco, as well as Simon, as well as Corey, working to get John Davis on real soon. I've had Don, we want to get Biff on. And
don't we have Leo Gold on?
I haven't had Leo on before.
Oh,
no, it's okay. But the fact of the matter is, and I'm not going to compare. I mean, because you can only compare in the factor in one regard, and that's heart. Because when you have, and the fans understand this because I talk to people all the time about this. One of the things that people love about Global up here in Alabama is the fact that from the time the doors open to the time everybody says goodnight, everybody who comes through those doors, through that curtain, is determined to give you the absolute best, because every one of us who walk through that curtain, walk through those doors, respect the fact that you're spending your hard-earned money to come see a show. You get that same thing down at Vintage. Wick?
Clyde, how can everyone get in touch with you, whether it be for bookings, hate mail, fan mail, no dick pics, no pussy pics, anything else?
Please, God, no. Like, I'd just rather not. I mean, it's just whatever you're into, I'm not into it. I do my own stuff with my wife. Okay. Anyway, you can hit me up on Facebook at Clyde Braddock. There's only one, and he is awesome. And you can hit me up on the Twitter at @thegran_design. The T, the G, and the D are capitalized. You can hit me up on Vine if you got a Vine. I haven't posted any videos. Got some brewing that are really fucking funny with my child Gold Bear. He's growing up so fast, and he's a badass. He really turned out to be a badass. So be looking out for that. You can hit up my manager, The Wicked Nemesis. He is right on the line, so give him a call. Get us booked. Book Clyde Braddock. Book the Sevenfold Saints. Book the Wicked Nemesis. Hell, you could book my wrestling boots if you want to. I'll just bring them and set them in the ring. But that's at least $50. So, give us a call, guys, and I'll see you guys next week on the show.
Be careful, sir. Have a great weekend. And a happy birthday to Amanda.
Happy birthday, Amanda.
Yes. Thank you, guys. We had a great weekend last weekend. It was good to have some time off and get to spend some time with her. Went to a bacon-themed restaurant. It was actually amazing.
Nice.
You should have seen Dylan against Steve. It was great.
Yeah, I heard. I heard and watched it.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah, me and Steven watched it on lunch today, actually.
Good, great. It's up on YouTube. It is under Dropkick Steve Styles with the Wicked Nemesis versus Dylan Cook, the Dream Catcher, the Dream Weaver, which I think I actually sang Dream Weaver to him. So.
Oh God, yeah, I heard that. It was just great.
Did you see the little fat cross-eyed kid throw a ball at me?
Oh fuck no! I wasn't paying attention to that, but that's hilarious. Fuck those fat cross-eyed kids, man! Jesus Christ.
Yeah, his dad got pissed off and sent some messages on Facebook. But anyways, Clyde, have a great evening. You and Amanda have a great week. Be careful on your trip. Clyde Braddock, everybody, the Grand Design.
Yeah, thanks. And guys, always remember, if you're ever running out of honey, don't worry. There's always enough honey to make honey mustard. Goodbye, guys.
Peace.
And that is why he is the heavyweight primate with the Harvard mind right there, the Grand Design Clyde Braddock. Eddie, what does Beyond Ringside as a whole have upcoming, and what do you have upcoming? Because you are everywhere. You're at B-dubs. You're at people's bar mitzvahs. I think you're doing some comic cons. I think you're doing Walker Stalker Con now, right?
Pretty much. Now, actually, this week is going to be a pretty simple week. Of course, for the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, I'm going to pick things up on March 12 with the Thursday double play. 7 o'clock p.m. Central, Cause and Effect present the Thursday Night Radio Throwdown. And at 9 o'clock p.m., it's The Show with Ted Guinness. Episode 2. Looking forward to that tomorrow night. Saturday morning, the return of the Saturday Showcase. BR Live is on hiatus for this coming week. Wrestle Rage Radio with Smart Rage and Stan will be returning this coming Sunday night, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. And just had the good Reverend Dan Wilson last night on Back to Basics. Brand new episode of the Midnight Black Mass will be coming back this Sunday evening. I do believe it's going to be March 15. And, of course, Back to Basics, a whole lot of things being planned for the Tuesday night show. It's chaos, it's crazy, and it's a whole lot of fun. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com, at BeyondRingside on Twitter. I swear I'm going to start using it more. I keep trying. I just get distracted over on at Fast Eddie Layne, Layne. For those who still can't remember how to spell it, who still have me on their Facebook, dumbasses. Hi there. How you doing? How can it be a magazine if it's not even in paper? From there, FastEddieLane.com. Yes, of course, the official site. Layne. Still, I'll repeat it one more time. Friday nights, Buffalo Wild Wings in Alabaster. Always a great time. This coming Saturday, I will be DJing a wedding reception. This coming Sunday, I will be back with some good friends, Doug and Joy Smith. I'm going to be actually DJing a birthday party for Joy. Looking forward to that. Thank you to everybody from Sauce Juke Joint. Oh my God, this past Sunday, I had an absolute blast. And amazingly enough, I stayed sober. Mainly because I was actually taking steroids and, what's that other word I'm looking for? The stuff, antibiotics. I'm sorry. In addition to everything else, I have been battling a respiratory tract infection as well as a sinus infection, and that's why I sound like I do right now. I'm wrapping up the course on the steroids. I just wrapped up the antibiotics yesterday. I'm going to go back in, see my doctor Friday morning. We're going to get everything back in play and see if we can put the rest of me back together again. I miss being the loudmouth, obnoxious me. But needless to say, the voice may be going a little bit, the breathing may be out, but the heart and the rest of the body are still very much there. So as long as there's a breath in this body, I'm going 90-0. Why? Because it's the only way I know.
Well, thank you, Tin Man. We appreciate it. We'll see you on the Yellow Brick Road. Ladies and gentlemen, the To Be Determined Show, the Sevenfold Saints, the Merchants of Death, the Wicked Nemesis, and the Unlucky Charms all have Facebook fan pages. Give us a like and a share if you would like to. Great Britain, Thailand, Canada, Alaska, Hawaii, and the rest of the United States, thank you so much for all the love on YouTube that you've been giving Wicked Nemesis over there on YouTube. Several of the matches have been up. Dylan Cook and Steve Styles are up. AJ Steele against Clyde Braddock at the Temple Rec Center. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yes, the Temple Rec Center are up. Several past The To Be Determined shows are up. Some Beyond Ringside interviews. Some past Beyond Ringside episodes. Shoot Finish Yes, sir.
I need a big favor real quick. I want to give a very special thank you to longtime friend of the BR family, Bambi Weevil with Masters of Ring Entertainment. The previous 2 Tuesdays, she was kind enough to help me set up interviews for Dr. Tom Pritchard, as well as the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff, all a part of the Lasting Legacy show, which took place this past Saturday up in Wilmington, North Carolina. And according to some good friends of mine who were up there, I heard start to finish, it was a great day. So Bambi, once again, to everybody with Masters of Ring Entertainment, thank you for the help on setting up the interviews. To Ivan Koloff, thank you so much. To Dr. Tom Pritchard, a pleasure as always. And from last night, Rev Dan, always a pleasure. Welcome anytime. Thanks, Wick.
Also, the YouTube page has Leon Stresser, the Bull, against Bill the Butcher from UIW from this past Saturday. And it has the debut of the 5-Star Fight Club. Yes, Joshua Hagan and Dan Sawyer gelled very well. Let's see where that goes with GCW this past Saturday at UIW. So, for everything that happened February 28th, this past Saturday, Josh and Dan, they did very well together. I'm just saying. I'm sorry to bring that up, but those are also up on my YouTube. So Bill the Butcher and Leon beat the shit out of each other. And it wasn't that good of a match. But you can go up and judge for yourself on YouTube. And, of course, you can go see the dominance displayed by Mad Dog Dan Sawyer and Mr. Blur, Mr. Joshua O'Hagan on YouTube as well.
By the way, Sunday, March 29th.
Yes.
I don't know.
Waiting on that.
Huh?
I was waiting on that.
Okay. Sunday,
sir.
March 29th for our friends in our home market of Birmingham, Alabama. If you are looking for the place to watch WrestleMania 31, Buffalo Wild Wings in Trussville, Alabama will be showing WrestleMania 31. Start time 6 p.m. Central. The Beyond Ringside family of shows will be represented live as Beyond Ringside broadcast from Buffalo Wild Wings in Trussville starting at 4:30 p.m. Central Time. We will be live. I know I'll have the entire radio rig there. You never know who's going to show up. Smart Rage may make the trip from Atlanta. Mabo may be coming over from BR Live. Wick and Angie have talked about coming in for To Be Determined.
We're coming. Fuck that. We're coming. I'm going to tell you that we've already fucking planned. GCW, we're going to go hang out at our secret hideout in Birmingham, and then we're going straight fucking there. We will be there by probably about 4 o'clock.
And to which I will say it like this.
God willing, and as the rednecks say, and the creek don't rise.
Well, I'm going to break it down like this.
Break it down.
GCW business is GCW business. Beyond Ringside Radio is Beyond Ringside Radio. The invitation is there for the cast of Cause and Effect for making an appearance at Buffalo's. As long as they understand it's a Beyond Ringside appearance and not a global thing. If you want to if it's a broadcast affair, we can get along just fine. But if you want to play powers that be, guess what? You might get a Chipotle barbecue hot wing straight up the ass. And for the record, the Hitman Big Daddy Cool, Ryan Adcock, said he will be there. The Man Called Evil, Adam Smith, will be there. The Horseman's Advocate, Andy Hudson, will be there. So you
Yay, Andy. I'm sorry.
So, like I said, we're looking to make it a full-scale radio event. Sunday, March 29th, Buffalo Wild Wings, Trussville, Alabama. Dino, thank you for everything.
Hell yeah, I don't know who Dino is, but...
General Manager.
Thank you, we appreciate it. Go out, support local independent wrestling this Friday at the Masquerade. Wrestling with Pop Culture presents their anniversary show. The gratitude of Georgia wrestling right there. As you've heard, Francisco Ciatso will be there. Several other matches. And, of course, there will be nobody from Beyond Ringside represented, of course, for Smart Rage. Smart Rage will be like, I got a date. I made her suck my small dick.
Oh, dude.
Don't give a shit. We love you, Corey. YouTube Determined Show, live Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com. Thank you to everyone that has listened this evening and everyone that, of course, will catch it on a replay somewhere on a BeyondCast. For Fast Eddie Layne,
And the Chipotle dry rub barbecue wings from B-Dubs are actually excellent, so I wouldn't waste them by assaulting somebody with good food.
For Angie Travis,
Good night, everyone.
I am the Orc of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis. Good night, good luck. As always, leave your week to be determined. Don't be a baby. Be a definite forever forward. The Sevenfold Saints. Good night, everyone.